Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the most terrifying road moments caught on camera. Now, I think most of us who drive have had a few, quite sketchy moments. Like for me, one was I was driving home. So my family lives in Essex, right? And I live in northwest London. So to get from where I live to my family's home, there's like a sort of like a 30, once you get onto the M25, there's like a 25-mile stretch where it's just straight for 25 miles. And I was driving home one night and I drank a lot of coffee. I was fine when I left the house. I was fully awake and stuff. But like, I almost dozed off. Like I was, doing like 70 on the motorway. And I, like for a split second, just like that. And I realized I'm driving a car at 70 miles an hour. That was scary. I stopped off at a service station. I got myself another espresso and just, made the rest of the journey. But for me, that was pretty scary. It only lasted a split second, but man, my heart jolted, But yeah, so I'm sure most of you guys have had, similar moments where something, either has happened to you on the road or you've made a mistake on the road. So yeah, this video is gonna, to make a video like this, to make it onto a video like this, it's got to be something particularly scary. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let's do it.
From a wild flood in the Middle East that left dozens of drivers stranded on a bridge, and a runaway tire on a New York highway that almost caused a massive pileup, to a brake failure in Venezuela that caused a 400-ton crane to topple down a hill, and an impatient driver in San Francisco who learned why you should never pass on the right. Here are 10 incredible road moments caught on camera.
All right, let's go.
Most people picture dry, arid conditions when they think of the Middle East. Countries like Oman, a small nation below Saudi Arabia, can go a long time without rain. In fact, they only get about 100 millimeters, or about 3.9 inches, all year.
Wow.
Over 2 days in July.
That is dry, mate.
July of 2022, a year's worth of rain descended on the entire country. About 90 millimeters fell, causing several waterways to overflow and flood the landscape. When the water started coming, dozens of drivers found themselves stranded on a bridge.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. Crazy. There's so much of it. Look at this guy reversing. I hope you can see what's behind him. Oh, collision. Wow. I mean, they probably need that water, because they get so little of it. They probably need it, but it's the fact it happened all at once, I think, that just caused all these problems.
It doesn't help that everyone has the same idea. Traffic moving away from the flood has an easier time escaping. It's the cars that need to back out that wind up causing the traffic jam. Look how quickly the water envelops the road.
Yeah.
It goes from a dry highway to a waterfall in just a few seconds. The drivers in the back clearly have it the worst.
Yeah, this guy, he might get stuck.
At least most of them are in trucks and SUVs. Up front turns into a lawless land of pushing and honking. They can lean on their horns all day long. It won't change anything. Thankfully, all of the cars make it through the flood.
Nice.
We'll call them out of the danger zone once they cross the midpoint.
But yeah, they probably need the water for the agriculture and stuff. Yeah, but unfortunately, there's no way to control rain. Although I did read somewhere that you can actually trigger rainfall by spraying the clouds with silver nitrate. I'm not sure if there's any truth to that, though.
Anything can happen when you're dealing with thousands of cars going 60+ miles per hour. That's why they lean on the importance of defensive driving in driver's ed. On July 15th of 2021, a New York man tested those defensive driving skills when a runaway tire got stuck under his car.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Fuck. That is so unlucky. That is so unlucky.
The car ahead of him suddenly swerves. The next thing he knows, there's a busted tire heading straight for his
So the tire probably came from this truck.
car. With only a second to react, our driver swerves right to avoid the runaway rubber.
God.
Unfortunately, it gets stuck under his car and he loses control. He cuts left and crosses 4 lanes of heavy traffic before smashing into the barrier. Look how close he came to clipping that white pickup. By some miracle, our driver didn't hit anybody else, nor did anyone hit his car. He must have felt helpless sitting in a totaled car while other drivers maneuvered around him. Our driver thinks the tire came off an 18-wheeler up ahead. When it flies off the truck, it goes around the first car and then curves into our driver. He never even had a chance.
Damn. Because, I mean, if he couldn't get... Because that 18-wheeler was quite far ahead, so I don't think he managed to get his registration to file an insurance claim. So if he's either got to file it under his own insurance, which is going to jack his premium up, or he's going to have to pay out of pocket to either fix the car or replace the car. That is so unlucky. So unlucky. But at least he's still alive.
Cedeño is a small city in central Venezuela. While most of the population is dedicated to farming and livestock, the real money comes from the diamond mines along the Guanamo River. In June of 2012, while working on a government-sponsored project, some workers were tasked with hauling a 400-ton crane to a construction site. Unfortunately, things didn't go according to plan, especially when they got going downhill.
I just think there's not enough traction. I'm not sure if it's a brake issue, is it? I just don't know if there's enough grip. Yeah. And the weight of the thing behind is just pushing it down. Oh dear. Oh no! Dear, oh dear.
Have you ever seen a 60-wheeler before? Well, you have now. Our worker in red notices a haunting sound coming from the truck. The tires lock up and it begins sliding down the dirt road. He skips over some rocks to warn his colleagues up ahead. Then, the truck turns sideways and the crane topples over. Brake failure was to blame for this catastrophic screw-up. The truck driver's first mistake was trying to brake on the hill.
That's an expensive mistake. I mean, it's not even a mistake. It's just the brakes weren't adequate for the amount of weight that was pushing onto the vehicle. I think, better planning may have, stopped this from happening. It is what it is.
East Asia is full of scenic landscapes.
Wow, that's
It's
stunning.
also prone to heavy rain, flash floods, and frequent landslides. But those picture-perfect moments can turn into life-or-death situations in the blink of an eye. According to Reuters, 2020 was an awful monsoon season. Landslides and heavy rain had already caused widespread damage, and they were about to cause a little more. On July 29th of 2020, a tour group turned down a road in Bharatpur, Nepal. They quickly began running in the opposite direction.
Mate, get out of there. Oh, look at that big ass rock. Dude, move back. Move back. Why are they still stood at the base? Why are you still stood there? Finally, they move. Oh, look at the huge rock. Mate, did you see that boulder? Did you see the boulder? There is a humongous boulder that comes tumbling down. Look at this. Mate, if that hits you, it is over. It is over.
Rocks roll down the mountain as our tourists flee back across the road. Then, a massive wave of rock and dirt crashes down the valley. Just look at how big some of those boulders are.
Yeah.
It looks like our tourists were far enough away to avoid injury. Landslides like this are far too common in the Himalayan region, especially during monsoon season. Remember this clip the next time you find yourself backpacking through the Nepali hills. Always be ready to run.
Crazy. That was wild. I still think they stood at the base of that mountain or hill for way too long. It just, I mean, as soon as I started seeing rocks falling down, I'm like, in the other direction.
Now everyone knows the Golden Gate Bridge, but our next reckless driver caused a massive traffic jam next door. The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, or Bay Bridge for short, carries about 260,000 cars every day. On March 21st of 2021, the driver of a white sedan tried to overtake another driver on the bridge. In doing so, they broke one of the cardinal rules of safe driving: never pass on the right.
Oh! Oh my God.
Our driver's dashcam captures the entire thing. The white sedan loses control on the overtake, slides across 3 lanes, and smashes into the barrier. Somehow, our driver avoids a nasty head-on collision and swerves around the crashed car. Something similar happened back in 2016. This time, it was on the other side of the world. On June 12th in northern Taiwan, an impatient driver tried to pull ahead of everyone else. Instead, they wound up paying the price.
Oh, look at this. Oh no! Oh no! Boom! That car is totaled. That is a totaled car for sure.
Pay attention to the gray van coming onto the highway. There's a black SUV behind it who thinks they're better than everyone else. They swerve to get around the sedan, but lose control and crash cleanly into the guardrail.
Actually, maybe it's not totaled, because I feel like the engine actually is probably fine. Suspension is probably fine.
It forces our driver to slam on the brakes, narrowly avoiding a deadly collision. Let these 2 videos be a lesson in patience. Wherever you're going, getting there 2 seconds faster is not worth your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know why people are so impatient on the road. Like, I'm not a perfect driver. I have to catch myself sometimes. It's like, to save 2 seconds, you're driving dangerously. Like, what's the point? You know, it's going to cost you an extra, 2 seconds, 3? Trying to beat that red light. It's just like, relax.
Driving right behind somebody is one of the most dangerous things you can do on the highway. There's a reason they teach 3 car lengths in driver's ed. One tailgater in Northport, Florida learned that lesson the hard way. Pay attention to the black truck and how it narrowly avoids colliding with 4 other cars. It looks like they're getting a little congested up ahead. Funny enough, the radio DJ mentions how traffic is building up on I-75 northbound, the highway our driver is on. Someone in the left lane must have stopped short, causing a chain reaction of cars swerving out of the way. The black truck and its flatbed pull onto the grass to avoid a violent collision. Then, the trailer jackknifes, forcing the truck back onto the road. It clips the truck of a...
And he's blocking the whole road. There's like very little space to go around. This is going to cause massive congestion until he can move his car.
Black sedan and blocks traffic across 3 lanes. Our driver stops right in front of the flatbed. We watch it pull off the road and onto the other side. We're not sure who was at fault in this accident. Traffic might have been slowing down, but it was flowing smoothly. It looks like the 4 cars in the left lane were tailgating each other. When the driver up front hit the brakes, it caused everyone else to swerve out of the way. Notice how there are 2 cars in the breakdown lane as the truck zips by.
Whew. To be fair, it's actually quite, considering the size of the truck and the thing it was towing, it was actually quite a miracle that it didn't hit any of the cars on the road. Like, it didn't seem that any other car was damaged, which was really, really quite fortunate.
July of 2021 marked a month of celebration in Romania. The country was officially ending its military operations in Afghanistan. What better way to celebrate than with a military parade? In the capital city of Bucharest, a U.S. Black Hawk helicopter was training for the parade when something went terribly wrong. The pilot lost control and was forced to make an emergency landing. In doing so, some unlucky drivers took a few lampposts to the hood.
Oh no! Oh. Unlucky. I mean, just it had to be. If I was driving that car, I'd be like, why me? Why was it my car?
You can see the other choppers flying in formation. They seem to be going just fine. Then you hear the Black Hawk roaring overhead. It appears a few dozen feet over the busy street, way closer than a military-grade helicopter should be. It looks like the sheer force of the rotor blades bends the lampposts like they're made of rubber. Another clip shows the helicopter landing near the Arcul de Triomphe, commemorating Romania's victory during the First World War. Thankfully, police cleared traffic as the helicopter came in for an emergency landing.
Why was he so low? The pilot, the helicopter pilot.
On September 17th of 2017, a powerful storm tore through Romania and parts of Serbia. Winds peaked at 60 miles per hour. The storm downed trees and power lines in Romania, swept across Croatia, and kicked up one nasty dust storm near a Serbian highway.
There's so much shrapnel in the air, so much like material. What is that? Like, there's just so much of it. That's so weird.
All seemed normal as steady traffic moved down the road. Then, debris began flying by and an ominous cloud appeared up ahead. The storm quickly blocked out the sun. All anybody could do was keep driving.
Oh my God. Imagine driving in this poor visibility. You can't see a thing. You've just got to be going so slow. Mate, I'd be doing like 20, mate. Maybe 30. Crawling pace. Or maybe just stop and wait. Hopefully it passes. Crazy. Never seen anything like it.
Picture this. You're driving down the highway and all you see up ahead is this massive dust storm. You can't turn around, and pulling over doesn't look very safe. Meanwhile, the storm keeps getting closer and closer. Things go from bad to worse when you lose sight of the cars ahead of you. Thankfully, their hazard lights cut through the dust. The storm doesn't show any signs of letting up. Thankfully, our driver can see the cars ahead of him. He's probably more worried about someone hitting him from behind.
Yeah. Because you just know there's going to be some impatient person behind who thinks, it's just a bit of dust. And they like still want to, get to where they're going as quickly as possible.
The Birmingham Wildlife Conservation Park in the UK is home to an impressive collection of animals. You can see lemurs, meerkats, otters, and all kinds of birds and reptiles. You'll even find rhinos walking around in the street. On August 8th of 2013, a tour group was in for a real treat when 3 rhinos decided to square off on the safari road. Traffic built up as the rhino family decided to block the road. Everything seemed okay at first. The rhinos were chilling, cars were moving around them, and tourists got their vacation photos. Then, our car pulled up on a literal street fight.
You're in the middle of a rhino fight.
We are in the middle. Oh my God. Jamon, can you do the same?
I wonder what they're fighting over, or if it's just purely instinctual. They just felt like it.
We have no idea what set these rhinos off, but 2 versus 1 doesn't seem very fair.
No, where's
the
the
lone
ref?
rhino keeps using our tourist's car as a shield from its rivals. They're just lucky the other rhinos didn't decide to attack their car. One of the park rangers decides to break the fight up with their Jeep. Our 2 fighters clearly don't appreciate that.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
Of course, it's a Land Rover Defender. To be fair, you would need a durable car, you know, if you're gonna like herd rhinos with it.
Our solo challenger never stood a chance against the other rhinos. The fight ends when the tag team forces the other rhino back towards the pens. It follows the Jeep, ready to fight another day.
Are they quite territorial animals, rhinos? Maybe that's why.
On September 7th of 2015, some car enthusiasts in the UAE came across a flooded road. Instead of turning back, they thought it would be a great opportunity to show how powerful the rides were. A Jeep heads out first and easily makes it across the raging water. It's not surprising, as Jeep makes some of the most popular off-roading vehicles in the world. The Nissan Patrol following behind wasn't so lucky.
Oh mate, it's too deep. There's too much water, man. You're gonna flood the engine bay. Oh, he's stuck. He's stuck. He's stuck. He's lost traction. Oh man, is the car off? No, it's still on.
The Jeep backs into the water to rescue the Nissan. We imagine it's much harder to drive backward through a flood than forward. They inch closer and closer to the stranded car. Then we see a passenger open the rear hatch.
Was this the only way across this area? Like, couldn't he have gone around maybe?
That one guy is lucky the flood didn't carry him away. Imagine trying to tie that rope while a bunch of murky water is rushing over you. He finally finds a good spot, and the man in the Jeep secures the rope on his end. He pulls his friend up into the trunk, and they prepare for the next leg of their daring rescue. Funny enough, our drivers were shooting a Nissan sponsor video when it got stuck. It looks like they inadvertently filmed the
Really?
Jeep promo instead.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it,
That was a really, really fun video. For me, if I had to pick the scariest moment, it would either be the one where, I think it was in Nepal, where there was like this group of people standing at the base of this like hill, and all of a sudden this like rock slide just happens. Out of nowhere, these enormous boulders, because you could be, these rocks, they're obviously falling, because they're so heavy, they're falling quickly. And it doesn't take a really big rock to really cause a lot of damage. Like, some of these rocks were bigger than cars, but even let's say a rock like that size, like the size of a baseball, if that hit you falling from a height of, let's say, 200-300 meters or 200-300 yards, that is going to cause some serious damage. Like either that one or the one where the driver was impatient and he tried to overtake 3 cars. He spun out of control. He hit like 4 other cars. Just crazy, crazy moments. Let me know which one out of this list was the one for you that kind of shook you up the most. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.